Hi everybody. Today is going to be a different video. I want to talk about the generational narcissistic family. This is for entertainment purposes only. However, this is my experience as well with the narcissistic family and how it trickles down and is kind of a pyramid and all that crap. And it's also going to be how I finally got away from the entire narcissistic family because it was a challenge. So the narcissistic family, it starts with like one person, and everybody in the family has to make that one person happy. That was my great grandmother. She ran the family. She ran the holidays. She ran everything. Like everything ran on her schedule. So, like, I come from an old family. I'm the ninth. My kids are the 10th generation in the family, and we come from the same hometown. And we have an old family farm from like the 1800s that my grandmother and my aunt still live on. And my great grandmother used to live like right up the road on the hill, and like the properties were attached. So my great grandmother is probably the one that started it, I would assume, because like she was narcissistic, and like my grandmother and my mom and my aunt, my sister, like, it just trickles down. But like when you're in a narcissistic family, when you're the normal one, you think you're crazy. You think everybody else is right and you're the crazy one. You're constantly compared to other people. You're constantly compared to other kids. Well, this kid did this in school. Why didn't you? Well, this kid did this. Why didn't you? Well, this kid behaves. Why don't you? Even though you're on your best behavior. Like as a child in that situation, you literally learn to break yourself into different personalities and be different for each individual place you go. Like you have a different personality for your friend's house. You have a different personality for your grandparents on this side and your grandparents on that side. And you have different personality at home, and you can never really be your real self. You always have to mask in every place you are. Because if it ever gets back to the narcissistic head of the home, of the house, of the family, that you wasn't what they expected you to be, you're going to hear about it for hours on end. It's ass chewing for hours on end. And you never do anything. There's no praise in the narcissistic family. That is the number one rule. We do not praise. That would be that's a bad thing. No, you do anything right, we'll just look over it and point out what you did wrong. There is no praise in the narcissistic family. It is taught and it is learned that praise in a child makes their head grow big. You cannot praise children. That's wrong. Children are to be seen, not heard. That was another huge thing that I was always told. And there's always comparisons in the family as well. You know, my sister and I are 6 years apart, but we was always compared. Well, she does this, but you don't. Well, she does this, but you don't. Like, there was always a comparison. There's always a competition going on in the family for the attention of the head narcissist, which in my childhood was my grandmother. She was the head narcissist. She was the one that everybody tried to please, and everybody tried to do what they thought would make her happy. And no matter what you did, it was never good enough. You could be a straight A person and be like, why don't you have A pluses? Like that type of it was narcissistic. And it was cruel in a way as well. They were cruel because they would have people that would, like, in the summertime ride by on their bikes, and they had the old fashioned water pumps, and they'd stop and be like, hey, can I just fill up my water bottle so I can head down the road? No, go to the next house down the road. Sorry about your luck. We're not giving you any of our water. That's our water. People would like run out of gas in front of the house. And it was a farm. It's a farm. There's diesel, there's gas on the farm to run the machinery. No, we're not giving you any gas. You can hightail it to like the gas station 10 miles down the road. We're not giving you any gas. Maybe you should have carried a gas can with you, was what I heard as a child. Like, it was crazy. And then I had this rogue aunt, and now that I've grown up and realized what's going on, now she's passed away, unfortunately, so I can't talk to her. But I would like to see what her reasons were, because she left as well. And the narcissistic family, they have no problem using physical violence against anyone in the family to get anything they want. None whatsoever. Physical violence is like encouraged. Like, you are encouraged to beat your children. Okay? My son was 2 weeks old. He was crying because I was 15 minutes late with his feeding. Mind you, I was one of those parents that, like, schedule. The bottle is warmed before I even know he's going to be hungry. Like, I schedule. I was out on the farm. We used to have to go do chores on every Saturday from like 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. Like, it was crazy. We'd have to go do chores. Well, we went out to do chores, and my son was crying because he was hungry. He wasn't used to having to wait for his bottle because I was on schedule. Like, even in the middle of the night, I woke up 15 minutes so I could make his bottle in the middle of the night. Like, schedule. He did not cry for his meals. I knew. I was told that I was supposed to smack my 2-week-old baby because he was crying and he needed to learn that he didn't run things. Okay, well, that's a red flag right there for me. And I'm like, oh, like, is that what y'all did to us? Like, did y'all think it was okay to hit us when we were babies? Because, like, I don't believe in that shit. Like, he's 2 weeks old, barely out of the fucking womb, okay? If he's hungry, he's hungry. That's kind of what babies are supposed to do, you know? When they're hungry, they're supposed to cry. Like, okay, whatever. Like, narcissism in a family is very cruel and very abusive. And I mean, my grandmother had no problem hitting my mother and her sisters as they're adults. Like, she had no problem backhanding my mom as an adult. Like, none whatsoever. Like, it's a very abusive, and there's no way to get out. It's your family, you know? There's no way to get out of it when you're a child. And then when you become an adult, it's normal until you start talking to other people, and then you realize, oh, fuck, this shit ain't normal at all. Like, wow. I thought I just felt that way because I was just like the weird one in the family. No. Like, society feels that way too, sweetie. Like, you're not supposed to be treated that way, especially as an adult. Like, I wanted to carry my son because I had like the wrap thing, and I so wanted to do that. Wasn't allowed. That would spoil him. Like, I literally was not allowed. They took my child and was like, no, you can't do that. Like, they threatened all the time to take my child for like a weekend or whatever. And then he wouldn't have that obsession with mommy. Because, like, I'm a mom. I'm a homeschool mom. My kids are with me 24/7. No babysitters. No, like, my oldest watches my youngest for us so we can do like date nights. But there's no, like, that's the type of mom. I take it, my responsibilities as mom, very seriously. Like, I am a mom. And they tried to, like, make that look like that. Oh, you can't be that close to your kids. Oh, he shouldn't be like that with you. Why is he always with you? Like, I was supposed to take my mom to an appointment one day. And my aunt called me and she wanted my son. She wanted my son. She told me that. I want your son. He's going to be babysat here while you take your mom to your doctor's appointment. And I'm like, no, he goes with me. Like, my oldest went with me everywhere we went. He goes with me. Like, no. Oh, you need to get over this. Okay, but I didn't have my son for you. I had my son for me, for my husband, for our family. Like, ours. I'm not. I don't have to share my baby, okay? Like, we got in a car accident because my sister had ran my mom's car to hell and back. The tire blew. We got in a car accident. Nobody got hurt, thankfully. We didn't hit anybody. We just pulled off to the side. Everything was fine. When I called my aunt to tell her that we had just gotten in a car accident, the first thing out of her mouth was, "You should have left your son with me." Wasn't, "Is everybody okay?" It wasn't, "Are you okay?" It was, "You should have left your son with me because now you just put your son in danger." Well, first of all, I didn't put my son in danger. My sister did because she just ran my mom's car all to hell and back. Didn't say anything about the fucking tires being bad or anything else. She told me the car was fine. Fine. No, it wasn't, because I damn near fucking wrecked the car because the tire blew. And it blew so bad that, like, the insurance company, if we would have gotten an accident, it wouldn't have paid for shit because that tire was so bad. Like, however, it was, "You should have left your son with me." Like, they're narcissistic to the point where they feel they should be the center of everybody's world. Not just yours, but your kids. Like, he didn't really like my aunt too well. I mean, kids, they get that feeling. They get the vibration. He didn't really like her too well. And, like, he would fuss when she'd hold him and stuff. And she'd get so irritated. "Oh, you need to get away from your mother. If you'd get away from your mother, this stuff wouldn't happen. If she'd let other people watch you, this stuff wouldn't happen." No, he just doesn't like you. Like, he just doesn't like you. You're not very nice. Like, you think smacking a baby is okay. Like, he doesn't freaking like you. Period. End of discussion. So, like, as it continues with my family and the narcissistic stuff. Now, mind you, when I was 17, this is another story, and I will record that for another day. Mind you, when I was 17, I completely left this side of the family, and I went with my dad. And then I kind of disappeared for a while from everybody. My dad, my mom, I just disappeared. I was homeless for a little while. Best experience. I talk about that later too. Just disappeared for a while, I needed to get away. And then eventually, you start setting up family. I got married. And I wanted, like, my grandparents to be with my kids. Like, that family feeling like you have. And that's how I got sucked back into it again. And then, like, through the years, we'd have to go out and work on the farm every Saturday from 9 to 6. And, like, I don't complain. I'm a hard worker. It's all good. Physical labor is no big deal to me. But when I'm doing all of your chores for you, that's a problem. When you have hundreds of cats that we have to clean up after in the house and outside of the house, that's a problem. They're not my cats. If it was my way, we would let them all go and be free. Because, my lord, you don't need that many cats. Like, and it took me a while. I used to have 24 cats myself. So, like, crazy ran in the family. We would take better care of our cats than the people in our family. Like, my grandfather always said, "You love the cats more than you love me," because he wasn't lying. Like, they was cruel to him. They was mean to him. He wasn't narcissistic. Like, he just sat quiet most of the time because what are you going to do? Your wife and your daughter scream at you like you're a fucking lunatic anytime you say anything different from them. They hide your pain medicine because you don't have pain at 93 when you worked on a farm your entire life. It's horrible. Like, narcissists like to see you in physical pain, emotional pain, any kind of pain. It's what they feed off of. So we did that for a while. We did the whole chore thing for a while and stuff. And then it got to the point where we was tired of doing all the chores. So we pulled away. We kind of disappeared. Me and my husband, we disappeared, and we lived in a different county at the time. And we just quit answering their phone calls. Disappeared. And they showed up one Saturday and, like, "Well, what's going on? Like, why aren't you guys coming to the farm anymore? Blah, 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 blah." We explained our side. "Oh, we'll do better. We'll do better." So we got sucked back in, and then we lost our house. I'm a mouthy bitch, and we had a scumlord, okay? Like, there was a hole in my living room floor that they refused to fix. Like, they were scumlords. And they came over one day, and I mouthed off about how scumlords they were, and there was a hole in my floor, and there was a leak in my ceiling, and they wouldn't fix anything. We'd lived there for 4 years. We paid our rent, we would pay our rent at tax time, so it was paid ahead, and, like, we got behind once in a while, but like we always got caught back up. Like no big deal. They came over and evicted us. So we had to go look for someplace else to live. Well, I got sucked into the narcissistic family. Remember, it's an old generational family, comes from old money. So my grandparents decided to help us out, me and my husband, and decided to buy us a house. That's where I live now. And when they bought us the house, things got even more narcissistic, more problematic, because it was, oh, well, we bought you the house, so now you have to come out and mow the yard. We need you to come mow the yard weekly. Acres, 3 different properties. Because there was the main house, there was the house, or there was the barn across the street, and then up the road, there was a cabin back off the road that we always had to mow. Oh, now you gotta mow the yard. Oh, now we need you to come out and do this. Oh, now we need you to come out and do that. Our lives started revolving around them and what they wanted and keeping them happy because, well, they owned our house. Like, they could take our home away from us easily. So, for about 6 years, we did that. And then when I got pregnant with my son, things started to change. And then before my son turned 2, he's about a year and a half. January 2020 was when I finally walked away because they went after my husband. And, well, we don't go after my husband. I don't care who you are, don't go after my husband. It's not a good idea for you because I have known this man since I was 10 years old. I have known since I was 14 that that was who I was going to marry and build my life with. And that is who I've created my life with. 20 years next year. We will have been together 20 years next year. Okay? They went after my husband. Mind you, this man has provided me my life. See all the pretty things on my wall? Yeah, that comes from my husband. The house, my husband paid off because I don't work. I stay home, I homeschool our kids, and I get to spend every day with my children, which is the best thing in the world. The oldest, not so much because he works, he's 19, like he's an adult now, but my youngest, I spend every day with my youngest. He's kind of pissed at me right now because I'm in here making a video and not paying attention to him. But I put The Grinch on for him, his favorite movie. So, like, they went after my husband, and this man has worked 3 jobs to keep our family going at one time. He's got a great job now. I'm so thankful. And he's come a far way because he's partially deaf and he didn't believe that he could get jobs like what he has now. He's got a really good job and he loves this job. And like, he never thought he'd be where he was. Well, because I had faith in him. And when I grew up, I had a completely deaf friend that you had to like stomp on the floor for, but he was a CEO in a company. Like, he was deaf, but he done things. He'd gotten places. So like, I didn't let him rely on that. Oh, I'm deaf, so I can't get the job. It's like, no, you're deaf, so you will get the job. Long story. Anyways, so for Christmas the year before, my grandparents and my aunt bought him an outfit. It was a neon green t-shirt and a pair of jeans. And for Christmas the next year, that's what he wore because, well, that's what the narcissists like, right? They like you to wear what they put you in. They told me and informed me that my husband was not dressed appropriately and that he needed to shave his beard, which, no, we ain't doing that. And that he looked like a bum and pretty much was a bum. And, well, as said before, my husband has provided me the beautiful fucking life I have that I am so grateful for every day. So that kind of pissed me off. And that was the last time I saw them, and I'm not even kidding you. They went after my husband. I wrote a 10-page letter as to how I don't care who you are. You will not be going after my husband. Okay? And we're done. We scraped up in 2020. My husband and I literally scraped up every dime that we possibly could. 2 paychecks, the tax return. We scraped up everything we could. We did nothing fun that year. Nothing. Like, no out to eat. Because usually at tax time, we go out to eat for, a fancy meal, Red Lobster or something like that. Like, we're not fancy. I mean, we're hillbillies. But like nothing that year because we scraped together $10,000 and I paid off my house. And we was so proud. Like we was so proud. And here's another kicker from the narcissistic family. So because my husband paid off the house, the title should have went under mine and my husband's name, but because they're narcissistic, they made sure it only went under my name because they can't stand my husband because of all the good things he did for you. Like he ran the tractor for them. He helped with the horses. He mowed their. He'd get off at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and we'd be out there till 9 o'clock in the evening mowing their yards, and then have to go back out and do the rest of it the next day. Like every Saturday, he gave up Saturdays. He gave up. His family did things on Saturdays, and he gave that up to go help them because he owed them the house. Like it's the narcissistic craziness that I wanted to talk about because like nobody talks about the narcissistic family. Nobody talks about how they hold things over your head. Because at the end, my husband had to go get some of his guns and stuff from the property because long story short, I didn't do guns in my house for a long time. And then 2020 happened and well, we thought maybe some protection would be a good idea. We have protection. We are a Second Amendment family. He had to go get his guns. And he wouldn't let me go because I stayed home with my youngest because he was just a little toddler at the time. And my husband wouldn't let me go because he knew it was going to be so emotionally draining on me. And he'd already seen me fight most of my family, most of our relationship, you know? And when he went to pick up his guns, my aunt looked at me and was like, oh, is this how it's going to be? We have the recording. Because I made sure my husband recorded from the time he got out of the car to the time he got back in the car in case anything was done or said. Narcissistic family. Like, I came from this family. I know what you guys are capable of, you know? So she's like, are you sure you guys want to do this? Want to do what? Want to have freedom? Want to get away from you? Like, you told us we didn't deserve a vacation because you never got a vacation. Like, excuse me, ma'am? I'm sorry, excuse me, ma'am. Because you never got something, somebody else don't get it. That's not how this works. So, like, and we had a discussion the summer before this all fell out, and she was after my husband again. Like, I needed to leave him. You know, he wasn't very good. Blah 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 blah. The man who's provided me this life isn't good to me. Okay. So I looked at her and I told her the summer before all this fell out. I told her, I said, don't make me make that choice because you're not going to be happy with the choice I make because I'm not going to leave my husband. Like, I'm not going to do it. My mother left her husband because of the narcissistic family. You know, my mom left my dad. Well, actually, technically, my dad left my mom because my mom was a whore and sleeping around with everybody, and he found out about it. So he left. But that's beside the point. Like, they have no problem breaking up something that makes you happy to make them happy. Like, they suck. They wait for you to have that negative experience, to have that negative thing, and then they suck it out of you. And they're like, no, you can't have that. So, I got away from the narcissistic family. It wasn't easy, and it's been 4 years now since I've been able to actually come out and talk about it. But it's been on my heart, and I've wanted everybody and people to see you can get out of it. Because what people don't understand is it's hard to get out of the narcissistic family. It really is. Because you love these people so much, and you hope they can change so badly, but they can't. They're stuck, and they're trying to get you stuck as well. Because since I've left, I've been so much happier. Like, I have the freedom to do whatever I want. I don't have to answer to anybody because I sure in hell don't answer to my husband. And he knows that. Like, I don't answer anybody. I don't get a phone call. What did you do? Why did you go out to eat? You shouldn't have went out to eat. Like, those are the things. Mind you, they go out to eat every Friday and Saturday, but you're not allowed to go out to eat unless you go out to eat with them. That's the narcissistic crap I'm talking about. And it's hard to get out of that family. Like, it took me years to break that course. It really did. Like, I was 34 when I left. I'm 38 now, and I can finally talk about the narcissistic family and how it's a competition all the time within the family to make that one head narcissistic person happy. But they're all narcissists. They have no problem ruining you because they feed off of that, but so does the head narcissist. It's like a bunch of little vipers trying to just get from you all the time. So I wanted to talk about that. This is a long video. I'm so sorry for that, but it's a long explanation. I have a couple more videos that I'm going to do hopefully this week. And the next one is going to be a batshit crazy one because it's talking about my narcissistic mom, which is a batshit crazy thing because it's going to be she did what? And you are normal? Yes, ma'am, I am. So I just wanted to get this video out because nobody talks about generational narcissism and how it ruins families and literally can suck the life out of your family for good if you let it. I also wanted, it's not easy to break away. It's not. It's not easy to ever break away from something that's so traumatic and, so emotional, and you have no family, or you feel like you have no family left. Um, you make your own family. That's what you do. You make your own family. That's what I've done. I made my own family with my husband, and I'm super happy with it. And I'm super proud of where we are and how far we come. And I'm super proud of how far we're going, making videos like this for you guys. Please share, like, and subscribe if you feel the need, if it resonates with you. If you go to have the narcissistic family, please comment down below because I want to see. I want to see your opinions. I want to see how you guys feel, how you guys got out. Did you get out? Are you trying to get out? Like, hit me up. Let's chit chat. So hit me up in the comments below. I'll put all my donation Cash App things down there below too if you guys want to donate or whatever. So I hope to see you in the next video where you find out that my mom did what. And I love you guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.